Welcome to the Haven Hubcast, a place to learn what business leaders, owners, and professionals are doing to navigate and grow in today's market. Hear from industry experts on everything from marketing, leadership, financing, and more. Brought to you by Haven, a co-working space where you can connect, create, and get stuff done.
Hello and welcome to the Haven Hubcast. I am your host, Nancy Sheed, and I am not quite bouncing on a ball as my guest is today. I've got Marie Patel of Girl on the Ball Solutions. Welcome, Marie. We're excited to speak with you.
Thank you, Nancy. I'm very excited to be here.
And Marie has her own business and she does miracle work helping small businesses and professionals with their marketing strategies as well as their tactical marketing implementation plans. Did I get that right, Marie?
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting a thumbs up. We're going to dive into how it's important to tease out those two nuances or the differences between those in a minute. But first, Marie, let's just honor the fact that you and I both have jobs that did not exist when we were in high school or college, right?
That's right. They did not. No, it was a corporation or bust, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. And while marketing was around, it's certainly not what I was doing. Is that what you were? Have you always been in marketing? Has that been your trajectory?
I have. Yes, I have been mostly in marketing, except for, a little time there when I was marketing my raising the boys, and you have some marketing involved there, But but
yes,
yes.
And they're demanding. They're the most demanding audience you're ever going to have.
That is very true. Yes.
So share with us your journey then, how the thread of marketing has sort of woven through what you wanted to be when you grow up to where you are now.
Well, I didn't exactly want to be a marketing person when I grew up. When I was way back in high school, I did want to be a doctor, and that didn't go so well after my first couple of semesters at school. But that's okay, because
chemistry, biology.
They just didn't work out very well. I'm embarrassed to say, even though my son is a chemical engineer. So I guess some of the genes,
right.
My husband wore off. Anyway, I wound up not doing well, like I said, and then I changed schools and I went to Sacred Heart University in Fairfield County, and I wound up falling in love with marketing. I started in business, and I had this fantastic marketing teacher. And he turned me on to it. And we used to do some focus group and marketing research projects around Fairfield County, like for Stu Leonard's and other big corporations. And he really turned me on to it. And by way of the universe, I also landed an internship at IBM that same semester I started at school. So I was right off the bat, started working for IBM and in this new major. And I worked for them until I graduated. And then I was hired right out of college, right into a headquarters marketing team, which was a really fantastic opportunity because the usual way you get into IBM and climb the ladder is to be a field rep, a marketing rep, or an engineering person. And but I happened to be in a circumstance where they were marketing to college students. I was in the higher education division, and they wanted some people who were either fresh out of college. They hired a few of us, just three of us, and one gentleman I met again 30 years later at Haven, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
No.
And so a small world there, but we really got education early in marketing, and the marketing fundamentals really stuck. That marketing is marketing is marketing. As much as marketing has changed these days due to the digital factor, the basics of marketing still exist. It's age-old wisdom. And so I think that it sustained, those fundamentals sustain through the years. And what I do, it's just tweaked by all the little tools and bells and whistles that digital brings. So you flash forward years, I still maintain work in marketing and some different industries. And more recently, I've spent the last 11 years as a professional services marketer for an engineering firm in Stanford. And that has been quite enlightening. I hadn't been exposed to the architectural engineering construction industry, which they call AEC industry. But because I knew my foundational marketing, I was able to bring a lot to the table. And so that has been really a nice experience. And during COVID, I wanted to do more. That position was part-time. It is part-time. I have enjoyed it. We have a very good relationship. And during COVID, I said, you know, it's time for me to do a little bit more. And I said, I want to do more of this. I want to do more professional services marketing, or just marketing for small businesses where I can really bring a corporate experience to a smaller business. And so I developed Girl on the Ball Solutions. The name came about because I do sit on a yoga ball when I work.
You can't see her, but she's bouncing right now.
I'm bouncing around. Yep. It keeps my mind fresh. I don't get that 3 o'clock slump. You know, I'd fall off the ball and get hurt if I did. So keeps me aware of that. And also, I guess I have a lot of energy that just keeps me bouncing around on it. But what was I saying? During COVID, I just wanted to do more of this. So I developed this thing on my own, and I've been meeting wonderful entrepreneurs. They're just so inspiring. And that's one thing I really have realized about myself is I really enjoy learning about other people's businesses. And then my problem-solving brain kicks in. That chemistry maybe didn't like, but the marketing part kicks in, and how can I help this person? And I think also what's come together for me is, I have a very nurturing personality and a nurturing nature. And so that comes through, I think, when I do work with people, because I do either put myself in their shoes or try to understand where they're at in their business. And I enjoy their founder story and why they created something. And it means something to me too, to really take it on and help them to grow their business, through their marketing.
I love that. And as you're saying that, I'm like, and you yourself have kind of had your own founder story just from the time you sort of started Girl on the Ball Solutions to where you are now. So could you kind of speak to that evolution? Because I think it's really important, especially for people who are launching their own businesses, who, kind of go out and sort of like put their stake in the ground and this is what I'm doing. And as they work and evolve, as I know, you get more clarity on how you really serve people and help people. So could you speak to that in terms of what you've learned from sort of launching your business to where you are now?
Yeah, certainly. Now it's been about 2.5 years. And while I had that bright idea, I want to do marketing for small businesses, I really had no idea at the time what that meant. I mean, of course,
you're faking it really well. It's okay.
Hindsight is always 20/20. So what I realized is, I put myself out there. I would like to help small businesses with their marketing. Well, not having a clear definition around that, it was like, okay. So people say, okay, great, I need help with my marketing. So how I've evolved my businesses and realizing and understanding is that when somebody says I need help with their marketing, it's such a range of things that could mean. So I have realized that oftentimes it means that they need a strategy. We need to figure out what the strategy is before we really figure out what to do with the marketing. So I have evolved my business into developing a process where I work with people like in a 3-phase process where we go through the first phase of really doing the strategy and identifying different things about, who their ideal client profile is. We look at who their competitors are, things like that, help really refine what their value proposition is, what their differentiators are. And then we can have some intelligence behind what we're going to do marketing-wise, figuring out what that plan is. For instance, if you're, again, going back to professional services, whether you're an engineer or a therapist or something, the majority of your work is really going to come from referral sources. So, one specific tactic could be around, you're going to focus on how to really connect with referral sources. So that plan is going to be specific to that. And then, so in the second phase, it's developing that plan. How do we connect with referral sources is the plan. And then the third phase is really figuring out the resources, tools, time, and budget that it's going to take to develop that plan so that you go into getting something done, implementing that marketing tactic with some intelligence behind it. You know what you're spending, how much time it's going to take. Like referral sources marketing, you're going to figure out who those people are, how to connect with them, how big is that list going to be, how long is it going to take you to connect with these people. That's all part of your implementation plan. So the reason I developed this 3 phases is because I felt, and I've worked with some strategists who have handed people off to me, I realized that people need a strategy and the plan, and then how to have it happen and work. And I get it to the point where, whether it's a content plan or it's a tactical plan, like referral sources, where at the end of it, the business owner has a process and plan in place, and maybe some tools I recommend to manage it so that they can take it on themselves, or they can hire and delegate to like a virtual assistant or an intern or something like that. So that's where I really thought the rubber met the road with this plan, because you get a soup to nuts, you get a strategy right down to how to get it done. And like I said, I really get it down to we focus minutely on one tactic at a time. We could develop an overall marketing plan, but I really like to do it one marketing tactic at a time, because you can't approach marketing so globally to be effective. You really have to pinpoint things. Otherwise, you're going back to doing this without having any intelligence behind it, and that's just like throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks.
So I love your clarity on this. I love how you are, to your point, you're nurturing your clients along. And you and I kind of spoke about it, right? Like people would come to you, and this may resonate with people listening, right? Like, I need help with my marketing. Well, when they say that, what they are really saying to you, or what they're saying is, I need somebody to do my social media, right? Like, and we've had these conversations, and you say, well, let's talk about how social media fits into your marketing plan, right? Mm-hmm. And then they say, what marketing plan or what marketing strategy? And
so they say, I need a blog. What should I write about? Well, okay, we're going to go back to the strategy.
What am I going to put in my email newsletter?
Right. What are your clients' pain points? What are their problems? And figure out what topics are going to be of value to them.
Exactly. So I think I appreciate that, that was stressed at the beginning of this, is you're not also sort of saying, here you go, here's your 7-point marketing strategy, right? Like, and it sounds like you also help them prioritize, right? Like, as you said, there are a million options, right? But let's see what has intelligence behind it, what aligns with what your goals are. And the other part, I'm assuming, is part of you, like, how, especially since this is a personal business, when we're dealing with people and sort of professional services, I always like to say, like, how aligned is it with them, right? Like, forcing somebody to go and embrace a marketing tactic that is just totally kind of doesn't feel right to them, that doesn't help their marketing either, right? Like, finding, and I think that's where your nurturing part probably plays an amazing role in getting people comfortable to think about maybe doing things differently, or honoring, what? Maybe that social media thing isn't for you. Let's find a more effective tool.
I really try to understand the person and who they are and what they're comfortable with, because whatever they put out, because it's professional services, it's you, it's them, it's their brand, it's their personality. It's got to be authentic. So, if that person's not comfortable being on the camera, on Instagram, talking or doing anything, then that I'm not going to suggest they do that. Or if they're in a position where they don't have a big budget and they're going to initially start doing this themselves, well, then I'm not going to say you need to post 5 times a week. I'm going to say, okay, maybe 2 times a week is comfortable for you. And these are the topics that you can talk about. And, so I do curtail and customize, my suggestions to the person and where they're at in their business.
Such a gift. Marie, what if you could, in terms of either people's biggest stumbling block, is it that they haven't given this big picture thinking that you help them draw out? Or is it the idea of just that they hate the concept of marketing? What are kind of the biggest stumbling blocks that you help them get over? Or is it just the complete overwhelm? Like, and there might not be one answer, but I'm thinking out loud of the things that I feel like I hear when people talk about marketing.
I guess it's figuring out how to best address their goals. I mean, I fall back on doing, I don't mean fall back in a negative way, but fall back in a positive way, meaning I always go back to an exercise that I find very effective in pulling out and drawing out some things to kind of help this along, to help my understanding of where they're at and what they want to do, help that along. And so I guess it unearths and uncovers some things. And that's, it's an exercise that I take my clients through in the beginning of working together that addresses we look at who their clients are and who their existing clients are and how they got them, and just understand their story, why they do what they do. And then look at who their ideal clients are moving forward. And, like, what are their pain points and what are their problems and what does their business solve for of their clients? What is the service that they provide their clients to address those pain points? And then what is that value? What's the value of that to the client? And then how you actually serve those clients? What's your process? How do you work with people?
I bet you there's some big ahas, and I mean, I bet you just having that mirror reflected is probably incredibly helpful and valuable, right? Especially if maybe they're in industries that are a little more, how do we say, traditional, right? And helping them kind of see how they differentiate themselves or, how they could do things differently and address people. You mentioned the exercise that you do to sort of draw people out. I know you mentioned earlier, you also do that in the marketing hot seat. Can you tell our listeners what the marketing hot seat is, please? And this ties us back to Haven, of course.
Yes. So at Haven, Felicia has graciously offered this platform for myself and the gentleman I referred to earlier, who is Keith Reynolds. He's the person that I used to work at IBM with, and we reconnected at Haven. And both of us do the marketing hot seat once a month, and we offer Haven members an hour of our time, and we often do that exercise to unearth what the marketing challenge is. So we put it out there to the Haven members. Come to the marketing hot seat and tell us what your current marketing challenge is. It could be small, it could be large, it could be critique my website, it could be anything like that. And we've had, I think we're probably up to about almost a dozen people, maybe 10 people who've taken advantage of it and really have enjoyed it. I'm starting to collect some testimonials, which is, awesome. Which I'm feeling good about. And it's really nice thing. Yesterday we worked with someone and she had just great things to say. And it was very nice. When we go through this exercise and or just a conversation and talk about some different things in what they're going through, what their goals are, the reveal is just often very interesting to them and clarifying for them. So at the very least, we feel really good that we could just shed some light and help clarify and help see a path. Some people wind up being clients as a result of that, which is really nice. But we've been doing this now we've been doing the hot seat for about a little over a year.
It's kind of like a free sample, right? Like you don't have a product to sample, but if you, and again, there's value in it, right? Like it's a valuable freebie. Would you know what I mean? It's not a tchotchke. It's not a throwaway. It's truly a mini transformation where they get to experience it.
In effect, it is a marketing tactic for myself. I mean, that is the reveal.
So meta. We're so meta.
But it also is a way for me to give. And I really have realized that lately, that you need to give and show what you can do. And that's valuable to people. It's valuable to me too, because it helps me grow and understand what people need, but it also allows me an opportunity to just give my time and expertise. So I have enjoyed that.
And I would layer in a way to get back to Haven, which, has, I think, been instrumental. I can speak for myself, right? In terms of meeting fantastic people like you and building community. And so I think that's a nice segue into what the Haven community, I always ask people sort of, what do you get from the Haven community or how lucky the Haven community is to have you in it? So I don't even remember your Haven story. Like, how did you come to Haven?
I am the lucky one. I came across Haven. I have known Felicia for quite a long time on a peripheral level. And in that, I worked for a small company that were clients of her marketing agency like 10 years ago. Wow. So I knew, when she created Haven, she was on my radar, I guess, because I always admired her. And so I saw that she had started Haven and I was like, oh, this is intriguing and this is interesting. And then it was during COVID then. She launched not too long before COVID. So then the first summer of COVID, they offered a lot of virtual programs for free. And I'll admit, I maybe was a stalker initially, and I would do like all of them. It was great. I took advantage of them. They were great. The ones during lunchtime. And the Haven half times. And I took advantage of probably all of them that summer. And I really, really enjoyed it. And then coincidentally, I was also, the one thing you could do during COVID was you could play golf. And I'm a golfer. And I was out playing with some women. And one of them was an ambassador. We were talking about Haven and I was saying that I had started my own business around this time also. And I was saying, I'm thinking about joining, but gosh, I just started my business. It seems a little expensive. And she looked me dead in the eye and she said, you can't afford not to join. And I was like, stopped in my tracks. The next day I went and bought myself a membership, a social membership. And that has been like, I think it was it's 2 years this October. I haven't looked back.
Awesome.
It's been the best decision I ever made. Awesome. I really, really have so happy I did because the community there is just beyond a co-working space. It has given me the opportunity to meet a lot of people that I wouldn't have met otherwise and connect with, whether they're clients or not. Just the people you meet there are just so interesting, and the businesses they've created are so intriguing. But then, the other side of it is I have found clients there, and I just enjoy the environment so much. It is very women-centric, but that doesn't mean I haven't connected with some of the men that are there. I was actually just asked to be a business advisor for someone who has a startup that's there, which I'm very excited about. There's just lots of opportunities around every corner. And every time you walk in, it's just such a happy, warm place to be. It's just so, you want to be there. The energy is there. The community is just wonderful. And yes, I sound like a commercial of Haven. I am. I would testify to Haven being an awesome place anytime.
That's why we're here. And that's what brought us together. So that's a nice tie-in. Well, Marie, I ditto all of those sentiments. And I'm very glad that golfing friend, I think I know who that golfing friend is. I'm going to tell her we were talking about her. I'm very glad that she stopped you dead in your tracks, or we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here today.
She gave me the smack I needed.
Exactly. Marie, for people who want to follow up with you, learn more about your business, or just sort of be in your orbit, what's the best way for them to connect with you or find out more?
Of course, in the Haven directory, but otherwise, my website is girlontheballsolutions.com. I know it's a little bit of long typing there, but that's where I'm at. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, similar names, Girl on the Ball Solutions.
Well, we will put that in the show notes. And this was truly a treat to get to catch up with you and chat all things marketing, strategy, and tactics, and hear your Haven story, which I'm not sure I knew before. So thank you for your time and for sharing your expertise.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Nancy. I'm really glad we got to spend some time together because we've been going in different directions. But thank you for this opportunity to get my story out, and hopefully that will be appealing to other people who might need some marketing help.
I am convinced it will be. Thanks. And that's another episode of the Haven Hubcast.
Thanks for listening to the Haven Hubcast, a place to learn what business leaders and owners are doing to navigate and grow in today's market. Please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Haven is a co-working space and virtual community located in the heart of Fairfield County, Connecticut. Haven is a hub for business owners and professionals to connect, create, and get stuff done. Find out more about the Haven community online at haven.com. That's HAYVN.com. Haven Hubcast is produced by Sound Advice Strategies.